Good Friday evening, students. I'm at home doing this video for you guys for today's lesson, which is beginning chapter 3 on physical and cultural regions. Let's get started here. Let me move my box here so my big fat head's out of the way. So, what are we going to learn? We're going to learn that regions can be grouped as physical or cultural regions based on certain criteria. And basically, what we're going to do is today focus just simply on what is a region and look at some examples of regions. Why are we learning this? We're learning this because it helps us locate certain physical features or where groups of people live. So let's get started. But before we do that, if you haven't copied your regions guided notes into your digital interactive notebook, stop the computer or stop the video now and go do it. It's not going to help you if you guys just keep watching this video. So pause me and go put that in your notebook, then come back to the video. All right, before we get started, one thing that's nice about these video series is that you guys can, as I mentioned a few seconds ago, you can always pause me and you can always rewind me so you can hear something I said over and over again, or you can watch this video as many times as you want. But what you're going to do is, now that you've got your guided notes copied into your notebook, you're going to watch this video, and whenever you see a black arrow like that, it's going to point to stuff that you need to type into the missing text boxes that go along with the bullet point. So here we go. We're going to get started, and today we're going to talk about what is a region. Now, a region is an area of the world that has common characteristics but is different from any other place in the world. And I have two examples here to show you. The first example is here of the United States. And you can see that each one of those states, they are color coded. And there's groups of states put together with certain colors. If we look at Ohio here, Ohio is blue. And you look around Ohio, there's several states that have the same color blue. So that would mean all of those states that are color blue, they are a region because they all have common characteristics but are different from any other state that you see around them, which would be those other colors. The second example that I have here is the map here. And all these different colors show you states that contain the Appalachian Mountains. And again, this would be a region because all these states that have the mountains, they share that common characteristic of the Appalachian Mountains. And they're different because no other state within our country have the Appalachian Mountains. Now we know out here in the West, there's the Rocky Mountains, and that would be a region too as well. So all the states that are here in green, well, maybe not all of them, but some of those states, those would be the Rocky Mountain regions as well. And they would be a region because they share that common characteristic of having mountains. And it makes it different because in the central and some of the southern and up here in some of the northeast, they won't have any mountains there. When we talk about regions, we're going to talk about two types in this chapter. And we're going to go into more detail later on this week. But those two types are one, physical region, two, cultural region. So make sure you guys add those into your guided notes. Now, this isn't the end of the video. There's just a few more slides I want to share with you guys. So bear with me just to give you some more examples of what a region are. So if we look at these three maps here, one is map of Africa, here's a map of Asia, and down here is a map of Middle East. Each one of these places are a region because they share common characteristics but are different from than any other place in the world. And right now you can hear my son Kason crying in the background. Now, just because these three pictures are together do not mean they are all three the same region. They are three different regions. Because, for example, if we look at North Africa, all of these in green here, these countries have common characteristics, but they are different than any other place in the world. Same thing if we look at the sub-Saharan Africa, if we come over here to Asia, as well as the Middle East. I go to the next slide here. I've got two maps here. Let me move this guy over here. And we have a map of Europe and we have a map of North America here. Now, all these countries here that make up Europe is a region. These three countries, Canada, United States, and Mexico, that make up North America, they are all three regions as well. Because again, a region is any area of the world that have common characteristics but is different than any other place in the world. We look at these two maps here. We've got a map first on the left-hand side of the islands in the Caribbean Sea, and over here of South America. These countries here are a region, and they are a region because they have common characteristics but are different than any other place in the world. The same is true with South America. Now, these two are not the same region. These are two different types of regions. And we've got our last example here, which is the map of Australia. Australia is a region, again, because it has common characteristics but is different than any other place in the world. So that ends our examples, but the video's not quite done. I know that I mentioned to you guys that they have common characteristics, and we didn't describe or define what those are, because that's what we're going to do the rest of the week. Just understand what the definition of a region is. It's an area of the world that has common characteristics but is different than any other place in the world. The last thing you're going to do is you're going to do your out activity, and that's going to be explained in person. So I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Remember, you can pause, you can rewind, you can watch this video as many times as you want. Have a good rest of your day.